I removed the Conservative whip from Robert Jenrick after dismissing him from the shadow cabinet. I was very sorry to be presented with clear, irrefutable evidence, not just that he was preparing to defect, but he was planning to do so in the most damaging way possible to the Conservative Party and his shadow cabinet colleagues. It is my responsibility to protect our party, and faced with that information, I took the only decision that any responsible leader could. Because the British public are tired of political psychodrama. So am I. They saw too much of it in the last government, they're seeing too much of it in this government. I will not repeat those mistakes.
Robert Jenrick, from shadow cabinet to shadow band, the defection plot that shook the Tories. All right, buckle up, because British politics just delivered the kind of plot twist that would make even Game of Thrones writers say, steady on, that's a bit much. Robert Jenrick, yes, the bloke who spent months battling Kemi Badenoch for the Conservative Party leadership, the man who positioned himself as the future of the Tory right, the politician who swore up and down he was committed to the Conservative cause, has just been sacked, suspended, and basically yeeted out of the party faster than you can say crossing the floor. And why? Because apparently, while he was sitting in shadow cabinet meetings nodding along about party unity, he was secretly plotting to defect to Reform UK in what Kemi Badenoch described as the most damaging way possible. I mean, the audacity, the sheer brass neck of it all. This is the kind of betrayal that makes Shakespeare look like children's theatre. So grab your popcorn, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, because we're about to dissect the most explosive Tory meltdown since last week probably, but this one's special. Let's set the scene here. Robert Jenrick, Shadow Justice Secretary, former leadership contender, a man who just months ago was presenting himself as the standard-bearer for Conservative values, the guy who could save the party from electoral oblivion. He went toe-to-toe with Kemi Badenoch in a leadership contest that got nastier than a Twitter thread about Brexit, and when he lost, he did what politicians are supposed to do. He graciously accepted defeat, took a shadow cabinet position, and pretended everything was absolutely fine. Classic political theatre, right? Except it turns out the theatre was more of a pantomime, because behind the scenes he was allegedly chatting with Reform UK about jumping ship, and not just any old defection, oh no, we're talking about a carefully orchestrated, maximally damaging, spectacular betrayal, designed to embarrass his former colleagues and blow up the Conservative Party from the inside. It's like accepting a job at McDonald's and then secretly planning to open a Burger King across the street, using all their secret recipes, except with more Union Jacks and significantly worse Twitter takes. Now, here's where it gets absolutely delicious. For weeks there had been rumours swirling around Westminster like pigeons around Trafalgar Square, whispers in the Commons tea room, knowing glances between Reform UK insiders, the kind of speculation that makes political journalists giddy with excitement. And every single time someone asked Jenrick about it, he denied it, categorically, completely, with the kind of indignant offence that only a politician who's absolutely planning exactly what they're being accused of can muster. Me? Defect to Reform? How dare you suggest such a thing? I'm committed to the Conservative Party. Meanwhile, he was apparently shopping around his defection like it was a Premier League transfer window, and he was trying to negotiate the best signing bonus. The man could give masterclasses in keeping a straight face. Poker players worldwide are taking notes. But then Kemi Badenoch decided she'd had enough of the charade, and when I tell you she didn't hold back, I mean she went full nuclear. In a statement that was sharper than a Savile Row suit and colder than a Scottish winter, she announced she'd sacked Jenrick from the shadow cabinet, removed the whip, and suspended his party membership. All of it, immediate effect, no appeals process, no gentle, let's have a chat over tea and biscuits, just straight-up political annihilation. She said, and I'm quoting here because it's too good to paraphrase, "The British public are tired of political psychodrama, and so am I. They saw too much of it in the last government, they're seeing too much of it in this government. I will not repeat those mistakes." Translation: the days of tolerating backstabbing, plotting, and general skullduggery are over. She's drawing a line in the sand, and that line is made of steel. This is a leader who watched the Conservative Party tear itself apart over Brexit, over Boris Johnson, over Liz Truss, over Rishi Sunak, and she's decided that enough is enough. No more tolerance for disloyalty. No more winking at betrayal. You're either in or you're out, and if you're plotting behind her back, you're getting ejected from the party faster than a rowdy fan at a football match. It's ruthless, it's brutal, and honestly, it might be exactly what the Conservative Party needs right now.
Now, let's talk about Reform UK for a second, because they're the other side of this absolutely bonkers equation. Reform insiders had apparently become increasingly confident about pulling off what they were calling a major defection coup. Can you imagine the scenes at Reform headquarters? Nigel Farage probably had the champagne on ice, ready to welcome Jenrick with open arms and a press conference that would dominate the news cycle for weeks. This was supposed to be their big moment, snatching a former Tory leadership contender, a shadow cabinet member, someone with genuine political weight. It would have been a statement that Reform UK wasn't just a protest vote anymore, that they were becoming a serious political force capable of poaching top talent from the establishment parties. Except now they're left looking like someone who showed up to a party they weren't actually invited to, clutching a bottle of wine and wondering where everyone went. And Nigel Farage's response? Oh, it's magnificent in its evasiveness. When asked about Jenrick, he said, "I think virtually everybody is considering leaving the Conservative Party. Yes, I think that's been in his mind. Yes, I have little doubt that it's been in his mind." Notice what he's doing there? He's not confirming anything concrete. He's not saying, yes, we were in talks. He's just sort of implying things, suggesting possibilities. It's the political equivalent of, I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens. He's keeping the door open for future defections, while not getting caught holding the smoking gun on this particular failed coup. Classic Farage. The man could dodge a question better than a politician dodges responsibility for potholes. But here's where the story gets even juicier. Think about the timing of all this. Robert Jenrick fought a leadership election against Kemi Badenoch. He lost. He then accepted a position in her shadow cabinet, and now, just months later, he's allegedly been plotting to defect in the most damaging way possible. What does that tell you about his mindset? Either he was planning this all along, in which case why accept the shadow cabinet position, or he got so disgruntled so quickly that he decided to torch his entire political legacy with the Conservatives. Neither option makes him look particularly good, does it? It's like accepting an Oscar nomination and then during your acceptance speech announcing you're actually joining a rival film studio and taking all their scripts with you. The level of bridge burning here is absolutely spectacular. And spare a thought for the other shadow cabinet members who've been sitting in meetings with Jenrick, discussing strategy, planning opposition tactics, sharing confidential information about party positioning. Imagine how they must feel right now. Betrayed doesn't even begin to cover it. They've been working alongside someone who was apparently preparing to defect in a way specifically designed to cause them maximum embarrassment and damage. That's not just political disloyalty, that's personal betrayal of a particularly nasty variety. The trust within that shadow cabinet must be at an all-time low right now. Every meeting from here on out is going to have an atmosphere you could cut with a knife. What's particularly striking about Kemi Badenoch's response is how definitive it is. She's not hedging her bets. She's not saying, we're investigating, or allegations have emerged. She stated categorically that she was presented with clear, irrefutable evidence. That suggests this isn't based on rumors or hearsay. She's seen something concrete, messages, recordings, documents, something that proved beyond doubt what Jenrick was planning, and she's acted on it immediately and decisively. Love her or hate her, you have to respect the decisiveness. She's shown she's willing to make the tough calls, even when it means losing a high-profile member of her shadow cabinet. That's leadership, ruthless, uncompromising leadership. The broader implications here are absolutely massive for both parties. For the Conservatives, this is both a crisis and an opportunity. Crisis because it shows the party is still hemorrhaging support to Reform UK, that even senior figures are apparently considering jumping ship. But opportunity because Kemi Badenoch has shown she won't tolerate disloyalty, which might actually rally the party base behind her. She's drawing a clear line. If you're with us all the way. No more plotting, no more scheming, no more undermining from within. For Reform UK, this is a setback, but not a disaster. They didn't get their big defection, but the fact that a shadow cabinet member was even considering it sends a message that they're a growing threat to the Conservative vote. The right wing of British politics is fragmenting, and Reform is positioning itself as the beneficiary. And let's zoom out for a second and look at what this says about the state of British politics in general. We've got a governing Labour Party that's struggling with its own internal divisions and policy challenges. We've got a Conservative opposition that's busy ejecting its own shadow cabinet members for plotting defections. We've got Reform UK circling like sharks, trying to pick off disaffected Tories. And somewhere in all of this, the British public is watching and wondering when politicians are going to stop fighting each other and start actually addressing the issues that matter to ordinary people. Kemi Badenoch said the public is tired of political psychodrama, and she's absolutely right. But the question is whether any political party can actually deliver the stability and competence that people are desperately craving. Based on recent evidence, that seems like a tall order. Robert Jenrick's political future now hangs by a thread. Without the Conservative whip, suspended from the party he's represented for years, his options are limited. Does he now actually defect to Reform UK, making Kemi Badenoch's accusations a self-fulfilling prophecy? Does he try to rebuild his reputation and fight for readmission to the Conservative Party? Does he go independent and try to hold his Newark seat on personal popularity? None of these options looks particularly appealing. He's gone from potential Prime Minister to political pariah in the space of a few months. It's a fall of grace that's as spectacular as cautionary. This whole saga is a reminder that in British politics, loyalty is currency and betrayal is bankruptcy. Robert Jenrick has learnt that lesson the hard way. Kemi Badenoch has shown she's willing to enforce it ruthlessly, and the rest of us get to watch the fireworks and wonder what fresh chaos tomorrow will bring. Because if there's one thing you can count on in British politics, it's that the drama never stops. The plots keep coming, the betrayals keep happening, and the rest of us just try to keep up with who's stabbing whom in the back this week. So there you have it. Robert Jenrick from shadow cabinet to suspended, from Tory insider to alleged reform conspirator, from leadership contender to cautionary jail. It's been quite the journey, and something tells me we haven't heard the last of this story yet.